Okay, that's yeah, hold on. I screwed something up already. Look, this is the very definition of a tech test. I just wanted to jump in and make sure that everything was working on the old MacBook Pro, the new MacBook Pro that I got. And I'm curious, in terms of audio settings and everything like that. Wait. Hold on. I screwed something up already. Look, this is the very definition of a tech test. Perfect. Jump in and make sure that everything was working on the old Perfect. MacBook Pro. That's what we're doing. Okay, so audio sounds good. Video looks decent. And the intro stuff seemed to work. Now, then you've got to check like bit rates and all that other stuff. Really, like this is more of a tech test than anything. So I don't expect anybody to jump in. I gave nobody notice on this one. But I'm playing around with a few things. So I wanted to just put it in a live environment and make sure that it worked. I discovered a couple things already, and we're clacking away on this here. Again, I don't expect anybody to jump in here. This is last minute, no notice whatsoever. And I said, hey, let's jump in here. Let's do a good old-fashioned tech test and give it a go. I don't want to hold you guys over the coals real quick. Hey, what's up, guys? Sorry, I really didn't mean to like have anybody jump in here, despite the fact that it's going right now. So you guys are getting like a little behind the scenes. I was actually working almost in like a tech test scenario here because I've got some new equipment. I swapped out the computer. Wait, I had like a gaming computer that I bought as like a streaming machine. It was crashing on me a few times during live streams. So I said, hey, you know what? As all content creators do, you've got to spend just way more money than we need to on equipment. And that's what I've done here. I went and bought a MacBook Pro, and I wanted to verify that it would work. So this is a very last minute live stream. I'm stoked that you guys are jumping in here and saying hi. Very, very last minute, Saturday night. What the hell? Why not? And we can maybe do some Sedona stories before we call it a night. I don't want to hold you guys over the coals too long. This is very, again, the very definition of last minute. But more than anything, I want to make sure a couple things are in place here. One, the audio sounds good. Two, the video quality is decent. And then I'm making sure all the intros and outros work as well. I'm learning a few things in this here program and making it work. So this is streaming live for the brand new MacBook Pro. Again, once again, just throwing money at this channel, just losing money constantly at this thing. But here we are. Tim Miller jumped in. Tim, good to see you, buddy. Chrissy G is in here. 123. Good to see you as well. Plant Powered MTB. What's happening? Sorry to bother you guys on this Saturday night. I wanted to screw around. I wanted to make sure that this stuff would work and that it wouldn't sound awful. Now, I think the audio is probably a little low, so we could probably bring the mic up a little bit if I had to guess. If I'm looking at levels here, and you guys can tell me. Again, this is almost an active live test. I want to make sure that all this stuff works before we do a big live stream and I promote it and all that stuff. I don't even know if I'll save this one. So this could be the rare behind the scenes Colorado thing here. Hayden's in here. Good to see you. Eric Rowe is in here. Good to see you. The frequent flyer. How about that? One Eye Blind jumped in. Yeah, perfect. Audio and video are excellent. Good. Okay, so I wanted to verify that and make sure that it all worked. Again, like it's one thing to like put all this stuff together, and it's another thing when you change an element. When you finally get everything dialed in, and you change one of those things in your setup, you're like, oh man, just anything could happen. So I like to give it an actual run through all the way through in a live test and make sure that it works. I've got a few things more to do in the back end. I've been wanting to do a live stream so bad. We got back from Sedona. There's so many stories to tell about Sedona. I just didn't get a chance to do it because we've been caught up with other things. We actually did an Instagram live with Mo and Hannah the other day, and that was super fun. But it's funny because like, if you look at Instagram, like nobody seems to understand that live streaming on Instagram is a thing. Like, because like you could have all the followers in the world and you won't have that many people jump in. Like I'll get like a decent amount of people at first and then they realize like, they accidentally clicked on it. But yeah, YouTube's still the king of live streams. One, because like you could do good quality like this. Instagram's really, you're limited to your phone. They really want you to stream on your phone. So one of the things I had to do as a tech test for this is the behind the scenes stuff that you guys may or may not always get the scoop and the skinny on, is you have to add an offset because what happens is the video takes a bit longer to get somewhere. Hold on, I'm going to turn off the one on my phone so we don't get it. You could hear me in the background. The video tends to get there like faster than the audio or vice versa. So you have to delay the audio a little bit so that it catches up with the video and it syncs up. So I had to make sure that was working. And I think that we've nailed it. I think at 200 milliseconds offsets, perfect. Freaking Flyers going to Burn Park. I do want to make it out there so bad. There's so many, like when I make an East Coast trip, it's going to be massive. I'm just going to hit everything in the books and it's going to be amazing. I can't wait. I cannot wait. Okay, good. One eye blind. Yeah, exactly. Sounds great from one Max to another. Perfect. Perfect. Yeah, it's a MacBook Pro. I bit the bullet. I was curious to see, like, everybody always tells me it's super reliable and all this stuff. I haven't done much with it other than set up this live stream equipment. Eventually, I want to start doing some editing and things on it. But the real reason I got it, and I'm going to give you guys a little top tip secret. The real reason I spent a ton of money on a MacBook Pro is so I didn't feel out of place when I went to a coffee shop. Because every time I go to a coffee shop, everybody's got their Macs, and like I just feel like I don't belong. So now I can walk in there head held high, full of confidence. That's what I'm really, more than anything, is why I dropped so much money on a MacBook Pro. Yeah, I'm sure it's really going to pay off in the long term. You know what I mean? I'm sure it's really going to pay off. Roost Behind the Tires says, hey, can you give my YouTube channel a shout out? It's Roost Behind the Tires. Roost Behind the Tires, you say, is the name of your YouTube channel? Roost Behind the Tires? Well, sure, I can give you a shout out, Roost Behind the Tires. There it is. That's the best I could do. I think that's as good as it gets. Oh, yeah. Again, I'm probably not going to stay in too late tonight. I just wanted to jump in, one, to do a tech test. And obviously, you guys jumped in. I'll say hi. If you guys got any questions, we could do it. Maybe I'll share like one story from Sedona or something like that. And then if like a million people jump in, we're going to end up just in here all night long. So you know that happens sometimes. It's just completely last minute. I didn't even make a thumbnail or anything. This is just me doing a tech test behind the scenes and saying hi anyways. I will say, like, the weather has taken a turn. It was nice out today. The weather was saucy. It was sunny, not quite warm. The trails are still a little muddy out here, but it was nice to get out on a ride. I meant to film a bunch of stuff, but what happened is I actually just spent some time riding my bike, and that was kind of nice. I've got some big rides coming up, so I kind of have been working on getting in decent shape for it. So, yeah, that's what I did today. I didn't accomplish much. So I just had some fun outside. It was really nice. It was a good day. You need to come to PA. Yeah, that'd be rad, man, for sure. Coffee. Yeah, Seth was here. Says the coffee shop confidence is paramount. 100%. You really got to just work on fitting in more than anything. Like if you're not sitting there with a Mac, you stand out like a sore thumb. People are going to eat you alive. You know what I mean? They're going to just destroy you. Oh, man. Favorite trail in Utah. I don't know that I've actually ridden Utah, actually, now that you mention it. I want to get down to St. George. I want to ride Moab. I'd love to. It's on the books. I really want to get out there. But I've ridden like Grand Junction, which is really close to Utah. And it's always been one of those things. I think the downside of Moab is the sheer inconvenience. Like I have to get there, and then it's like a 4-hour drive or something from Salt Lake down to Moab. So I thought it would be a fun like way to wrap in a family trip to go to Moab. But like to do that, there's a lot of like weird logistics involved. Like I could drive down there, get all my gear down there, but then like to get the family, I've got to drive up to Salt Lake, pick them up, bring them back down. So one day I'd like to make that happen because there's so much to see out there, like Arches National Park and everything else. Like there's so much to see. I would love to do it. It's definitely on my to-do list, and it has been for like 2 years. I don't know what's taking me so damn long. It's ridiculous. Let's see. Let me catch up. I have a question. How do we stop the rain? Yeah, Justin Drake, that's a great question. Us here in California, we are not used to this much rain, and we bitch about it constantly. So anybody else in the country, you got to cut us some slack, all right? We're used to it just being sunny all the time. So what we've got here is just like a massive amount of rain, and it's like really, like actually it's great, obviously. But it's, I can't remember the last time we've had this much rain in California. It's fantastic. Like last year, I feel like it rained like 2 days. So we're really catching up on the whole drought thing and filling up all our reservoirs. But boy, oh boy, us Californians will still complain about it, won't we? We sure do. We sure do. Yeah, MTB and Adventure says, ready for some real spring weather. I know he wants to get out to the old Everstoke, but it's been snowy up there. So that's kind of like putting a damper on plans. It's getting out to Everstoke, Aaron, and doing some construction work out there and things. But the snow's just been relentless, and there's another storm coming through. So riding's a little sketchy these days. A little sketchy. War with an MTB. Henry's in here. He says, weather in Arizona was mint today. Lucky dog, lucky dog. Yeah, I know. Like, we rode down in the Hawes system, and it was incredible. It's the first time riding Hawes because, of course, there was snow in Sedona. So we had to go ride Hawes. We had to drive down 2.5 hours. 2.5 hours down to the the Phoenix area to go ride Hawes. It was awesome, by the way. The Hawes trail system was awesome. But yeah, the weather was perfect down there. And then you get up to Sedona, and there's just snow everywhere. So what a wild adventure Sedona was this year. And it's funny because, like, the snow didn't seem to hamper anybody's didn't seem to hamper anybody's spirits. Like everybody was still having a blast. There were smiles everywhere to go. Wait, as Jess the Maker would say, smiles for miles. Her new glove says that. People were having a blast. Even on Saturday, normally what happens at the Sedona Mountain Bike Festival is everybody comes, they kind of get their bikes, and then they just disperse and go out on rides. Well, since the trails were mostly closed on Saturday, what happened was everybody just kind of hung out at the festival. And so that actually like turned out pretty cool because like now it's just a packed full of people. Everybody was having fun. Like most people were just day drinking. And so it was actually a pretty different experience to a certain degree. And some of us, we couldn't make it 3 feet without getting recognized. So it was like 10 hours straight. Like we got there and it was just mayhem because everybody was coming up, taking pictures, talking. And it was like, that was it. That was the whole day. And it was a blast. That's kind of how I wanted to spend my day anyway. So it was great. It didn't feel bad to me at all. I think the Sedona was a blast. They're calling it Snowdona. Snowdona. I will say the organizers may need to really start considering moving that festival because that's 2 years in a row where we've got some pretty nasty weather. And if it's nasty again like that, people are going to eat them alive next year. So, because the festival's so good, it's like the best. And so it's just, again, spirits were high. They did an official after party as well that was rad. All this stuff was good. But man, it was just like, it's hard to have a mountain bike festival when you can't ride your mountain bikes. So it's like either, I don't know. I don't want to talk bad about anything. It's such a massive undertaking to put all that together. Like I can't even fathom it. There's so much going on. It's so hard. If you ever try to organize anything, it's almost impossible. And so the fact that they pull it off is incredible. But yeah, we'll see about next year. We shall see. Okay, Ray's RC says, how can a kid like me that's not old enough to work for bike and my parents don't see the value in bikes? How do they not see the value in bikes? I guess I'm not really, Ray, I don't know the completely like the exercise, getting outdoors, all that stuff. Like to me, like riding a bike's the best thing in the world. Stay in shape, all those things. Like, I don't know, like, man, spread the stoke. Like just show them how fun it is. That's the best way I can describe it. I don't know. Like luckily I'm a parent and I'm like, yeah, I want my kids to ride as much as they can. I don't know. It's tricky. Danny Sala says, man, you just riding with a GoPro on, put it in a video. I think you've seen a video or two. Yeah, that's the trick to being a GoPro YouTuber, a mountain bike YouTuber. Slap a GoPro on and start riding. I feel like everybody has started that way. They just put on a GoPro and they started riding. So like all you got to do is document it and you'll get better with time. You could just go and film stuff. 100% true. Any bike suggestions? The frequent flyer says, any bike suggestions around $2,600? I think the Polygon stuff's around that price, isn't it? And I hear it's pretty decent. I don't know. Like, I should know the bike landscape a little bit more. I'm not the smartest when it comes to the bike landscape, but I think the Polygon stuff is pretty decent for that price range. Anybody in chat could probably correct me on that. Tim says, been to New Zealand before? No, but it's 100% something I want to do. New Zealand looks incredible. It looks like there's a ton of great stuff out there. I'd love to. Unpro Kyle jumped in. Look at this guy. Just had a kid. He says, I'm not sure which crying baby is more annoying, so I'm here to find out. Yeah, I know. I'm always whining about something, Kyle. Always whining about something. This is a complete last-minute live stream. I didn't even make a thumbnail. I was sitting here tinkering with this brand new MacBook Pro that I bought, and I wanted to test to make sure that it would work in a live stream environment, and here we are. Audio and video seems to be checking out. Nobody's yelling at me and complaining, so I'm stoked on that. Remember me from the 3D printed mustache live stream? I chose the color orange. That's right. We ended up with yellow, didn't we? There was a couple votes for red and things like that, but the yellow did stand out. It works really well. It would actually look really good. I moved it outside. Otherwise, I'd bring it up right now. I still have it here. I've got to hang it in like a place of honor in here. That's what I've got to do. I've got to start a collection, just a place of honor. Come and ride with me sometime this summer, Roos. Where are you at? The rain in the high desert is fantastic for dirt biking. Grew up in Palmdale. Not so great for MTBing though. Yeah, and out here it gets one of the things we noticed out in Sedona, yeah, it gets a little clayey. And again, the biggest priority is just not destroying the trails for locals and things like that. They'll eat you alive. If you post any content of you riding the trails, even moist, any local will eat you alive, especially when you're a content creator. So we always try to avoid that because we want to be a good ambassador for the sport and for things like that. So it's especially important, especially when we got a lot of eyes on things. Like I'm sure there's plenty of people that go and do it that don't have that pressure on their shoulders, that responsibility, if you will. But I feel like most of us are pretty keen on understanding the situation. So I would say that. Okay, I'm wearing my Sedona Bike Fest socks right now from 2018. Yeah, I've got my shirt. I brought it in the truck today. One thing that's funny about like my truck, and it's just a mess. The Tacoma that I drive is just a mess. It looks like I'm sleeping out of my truck because Now it's just full of not only like all the bike parts and maintenance stuff that I need for when I go out on rides and things, but it's also full of just tons of different costume changes, because when I go out and film videos now and I do multiple characters, I've got to have like different clothes to differentiate the characters. So now I've just got a giant pile of clothes. And now, like, whenever I get dressed, I'm like, where did that shirt I was looking? And it's in my truck. So it's like, it's just a mess. I got to find a better way to organize that thing. Cause like, then what'll happen is we'll go to a trailhead and will be like, and this happened in Sedona as well. Everybody be like, hey, you know what? Like, let's shuttle. And it ends up being, since I have a truck and I can fit a bunch of bikes, they're like, all right, well, we're going to use yours. And the Tacomas I have is like one of the small cabs in the back. So it's already bad news. And so you got to just fit people in there, which means I have to take everything out. And this happened in Sedona. We went and rode Highline with Dangerous Dave, Van Cam, Jordan Boostmaster, all kinds of Semi-Sendy, a bunch of guys. Local guy, Straight Line MTB. He's awesome. We rode with him. Riding Dirty, Eric, just a ton of people. Anyways, we needed a shuttle. And so I basically had to spend 30 minutes like getting everything. Not only that, because I had to drive out to Sedona, I had my luggage and stuff too, right? I had to spend just so much time just pulling everything out of the cab, putting it in the back with 5 or 6 other bikes. It was just, it was pure pandemonium. And I don't know if you guys have had that experience, but it was comical. I wish somebody would have done a time lapse of me just frustratingly pulling every piece out, like dirty clothes, clean clothes, like changes of clothes, just gear, filming gear, just not, it took a long time. That's my point. It took a long time. That's what I'm trying to say. God, I know. Oh, man. Okay, so I'm catching up on chat. All right, what do we got here? Freaking Flyer. Oh, you guys are talking about bikes. Good. Yeah, explain to him the good bikes in that price range. You guys in chat probably know more than I do in terms of prices of bikes. I'm so out of scale. Although every bike company is now discounting everything 40,000%. So if you're looking for a bike, this is actually probably a prime opportunity. Now, it's especially as Josh with the Daily MTB channel would say, the used bike market, because that's been like just gone like this. So you may be able to find like a used bike for like a really good bike that's used now for a lot cheaper. Something to consider if you're really diving into it. The newer bikes, they're at least 20% off across Specialized and a bunch of other brands. So the industry is regulating. It's regulating itself now. And so like if you're looking to get a bike, it's probably an ideal time. Looking to sell a bike, quite a bit harder. But you know, whatever. I'm not selling any bikes right now, so it doesn't bother me. Doesn't bother me. Yep. All right. Justin says, I feel super guilty when I ride on wet trails. Yeah, it just depends. Like there's certain areas where like Granite Bay, I don't feel bad about it because those trails are never really taken care of anyways. It's just kind of like the redheaded stepchild of trails in our area. So it's like, it could get mushy and you're just like, and most of it's rock rolls if you're going to go play in the rock rolls and stuff. But man, it's just mostly foot traffic and horses and things. So you just blame it on the horses. I'm sure Outside Brendan could make some like fake horse track things that you could lay in the mud and nobody would blame us bikers anymore. But we're the guys that fix it anyways, aren't we? They can't complain about it. They can't complain about nothing. All right. What else we got in chat? Psychopinkpike.com. All right. Well, you guys are going to town in chat. Look, again, I'd like to stress the fact that this is a very, very last minute live stream. I wanted to jump in, wanted to say hi. I wanted to do a tech test and prove that this MacBook Pro could in fact live stream before I did an official live stream. I didn't even make a thumbnail or anything. So if you guys got any questions or whatever, some topics you want to discuss in chat, happy to do it. I'm not going to stay on too long tonight because really I've been working behind the scenes on a couple things. I got the green screen set up in the garage because I was doing some clips. I don't know if you guys saw this, but Bobo is bringing back, and I'm stoked on this, he's bringing back MTB News. And so he did a story about that on Instagram. Well, Colorado Kid's going to make a cameo. Now, there's a funny story behind this because the way this all worked out is when I was first getting into the game, I was very hungry to like work with people because, of course, when you collab with people, that's when you get more exposure. Like you work with bigger creators, and that's when you can, one, gain their experience. You know, you can ask questions and things and whatever. Anyways, originally I reached out to Bobo and I was like, hey, like, and this is very early on. Like I maybe had 1,000 followers or something. I was like, hey, if you ever need like a guy on the street, like whatever for MTB News, like I'm your guy. Like, and so I was like, who the hell is this? Delete, you know, I'm sure. But it's been a long time coming. So we filmed something in the green screen and hopefully it all works out. He's going to take a look at the clips and make sure they work. But there could in fact be the Colorado Kid cameo in MTB News, which I'm excited about. It's been a long time coming, and him and I like talk a lot now. I think it's so fun because it's hard when you're always thinking of ideas and stuff. It's fun to bounce ideas, to come up with ideas and things like that, and we can help each other out. And there's a lot of us creators that do that, I think. So That should be fun. I filmed that in the garage. I kicked the wife's car out of the garage and just went to town and filmed it. So that's going to be interesting. That's going to be interesting. Yeah, live stream does look good. Okay, perfect. Come and ride with me this summer. I live in Richfield, Utah. Where's Richfield? Is that southern or northern Utah? God, my geographical knowledge is just preposterous. Like people tell me they live places and I'm like, I don't even know where that is. And they're like, that's like 20 minutes from you. I'm like, I don't even know where that is. So I one of these days I should sit in front of a map and like learn where things are. I know where California is and I know where New York kind of is, but that other than everything in between is like, yeah, I don't know. I guess I know Colorado and Arizona at this point. I've been there frequently enough. Lots of frequency. Wait, frequentitude. No, it's not. Everything's fine. It's fine. Make a video in which everyone's arguing what suspension travel is best. Oh, God, that could go on for hours, couldn't it? Couldn't it? Just the arguing about your suspension setup? Jeez, I would need to bring in some experts to get the terminology right, because I would just say, like, turn the twisty knob thing and, like, do a few clicks, and, like, the internet would eat me alive. They'd be like, no, that's damping, not dampening. You know, it's just like yeah, they would eat me alive. 100% they would. That's all I'm saying. What's going on in the world of mountain biking? There's a lot of events coming up. Sea Otter is coming up. Dirt Days is coming up, which is some of the local events. I know the Bentonville Bike Festival is coming up. It's like the time of festivals. Hopefully the weather cooperates and things like that, but it's going to get crazy. I know I'm going to be out at Sea Otter. I think the original plan was to be out there for about a day, because last time I just went out for a day, but it turns out it's pure pandemonium when we go to events now. So like, I think I'm going to plan on 2 days, because I do actually really want to sit down with some vendors and maybe talk sponsorship, things like that, like talk with some companies and things like that and see where we're at. So we'll see. It's going to be crazy. So I don't know. Sea Otter as a whole is very much industry specific, at least focused, versus Sedona, which is more like party. So we'll see. I'm going to be out there. That's coming up real quick. And then here's a cool thing, because you guys are aware of this as well. Now that I'm sponsored by Everyman Jack, they are super rad. They've been awesome. So they sent me an email, and this is something we agreed upon. Like when we were first working on the deal, it was like, hey, like come out to the HQ, hang out with everybody, and we'll go on a ride. We'll film some stuff. And I was like, I love that idea. I love seeing where the babies are made. Okay, that sounds wildly inappropriate. No, I like seeing how it's made and all that stuff. I don't know if the factory's after there. I know their HQ is. So the plan is coming up pretty soon. I'm going to go out to their HQ in Mill Valley. We're going to hang out all day. They've sent me an itinerary. It's crazy. Like a full on like itinerary the whole day. And so one of the things we're going to do is we're going to do a ride up to Mount Tam, which is something I've never ridden out in the Bay Area, just outside of San Francisco, if you guys are familiar with the geographical-isms. So we're going to go ride, and I looked at it and I was like, okay, so we're going to be doing stuff all morning. We're going to be doing some content creation, some meetings and things like that. And then they planned out this route, and they tagged the Strava route, and I looked at it and I was like, it's like 22 miles and like over 3,000 feet of climbing. I'm like, that's an aggressive route for like a midday, like post beer ride. I was like, oh man, how do I show up and not look like a fool? I've got to come in strong, like looking like the professional mountain biker that I am. So I gotta look good. All right. So I'm going to get a couple rides in beforehand. So when I show up and be like, oh yeah, that's a normal ride for me. What they don't know is that it's not. Like, how often do we ride big rides like that? It's hard. It's hard when you got everything going on, but that should be interesting. So I will be going out to Everyman Jack HQ. They've been incredible in terms of being a partner. Like, they were stoked on the first video. I've got another idea that we're working on, all kinds of stuff. It's going to be good. I should have brought some water. This is what I get for doing a last minute live stream. Just jumping in here live. By the way, I'm stoked that like 30 people come in here to hang out with no notice whatsoever. Do you guys get the notifications? I wonder how that works. Like, oftentimes when I start a live stream, does something pop up and tell you guys that I'm going live? Or is it just like show up, like if you're in YouTube and it just shows up on your main page? Like, how does that work? I should know that. I think like as creators, like you have to go in and click the notification, and if you get all notifications, would it pop up on your phone? I'm actually kind of curious if you guys in chat like, how did you get the notification that the live stream was happening? Did it pop up on your phone? Did it come through? Were you already in YouTube scrolling around and it just kind of put up in your header as a live stream? I'm curious, because it's one of the things that I'm always interested in, is how the behind the scenes work. You know what I mean? That's what I'm talking about. Okay. Hold on, I'm catching up on chat. Put some air in the springy thingy and ride, Pyro says. 100%. 100%. Yeah, the video will end with no clear winner. 100% true as well. Do the stuff in the thing. Yes. Watching random video says, I think about your shorts when I'm out on the trail. I laugh out loud. You're a funny dude. Appreciate you watching random videos. Yeah, it's fun, man. It's a fun process. I was saying I meant to film some stuff today, actually. I've got plenty of stuff I need to film, but I just enjoyed riding today. I was just kind of like, let's punish myself a little bit on some climbs and just get fit because I want to look good in front of the Everyman Jack people. You know what I mean? Like, I got people to impress, all right? So that'll be fun. That'll be fun. Okay, so you Psycho Bass Boy or Bass Boy says, I got a notification. Justin got notification. So that's interesting. Yeah, I'm like, because like sometimes when I have people that I follow and they go live, I don't see a notification. So I'm like, dude, I would have jumped in if I would have known or whatever else. So I'm kind of stoked on that. Like, I don't know if you have to go in and select that you get all the notifications, but I'm always interested because like, yeah, sometimes there's people that jump into a live stream and I'm like, man, if I'd have got it notified, I would have jumped in and said hi, you know? So it's kind of tricky. I don't know. I'm curious how that all works. Let's see. Okay, so Seth was here, saw it on the main page. Just watching a video, noticed it raised. Yeah, so sometimes you'll see it. If you're already in YouTube, it might just kind of come up at the top or something like that. Okay, so Eric says he got a notification on his phone. Okay, cool. Watching random videos says you inspired my mustache growth. Yeah, it's a good look. You know, if you don't have one of these, by the way, you should. I should make like a Cali Roto Kid version of this. I don't know who would make that, but like, you know, the old switchblade mustache comb, but like a higher end one. Because the problem is like these are so cheap that they like break really easily and they don't go up all the way. Like you got to really like, I'd love to make like a high end version of this. Like that maybe you could strap onto your mountain bike with a strap. That's so stupid. Of course I would do that. It's so dumb. Like all the product ideas that I have are stupid. Nobody's going to buy them. I'll never make any money. I'll just lose money on everything. This is why I don't do any merch. Cause like I do have one thing I'm working on with Trail Monos. I think I may have given you guys a little behind the scenes on this, but Trail Monos is rad. They reached out to me and they did what was smart is what they did is they sent me like a picture and they said like, what do you think about this design? Like as a glove thing. And I was like, brilliant. You've done half the legwork already. So then I had to come up with the concept of like the idea of like a mountain bike excuses glove, because it's like some of my big videos have been the mountain bike excuses stuff. And I thought it would be a good tie-in. And the idea is going to be like, you're going to have various excuses on the gloves. So you always have an excuse handy because we're going to sell 2 of them. I'm just going to lose money on everything I do. It's one of these days I'll figure it out. Okay. In the meantime, I'll just keep doing the stupid stuff that comes into my head and hope it works out just fine. Rugeroo is your name. I'm just here for the rascal. What a wicked ride. Yeah, it is a beautiful bike. The color really like popped in Sedona because it really did match Sedona. One of the things that happened there is I was talking with the CEO, Adam. Him and I finally got a chance to sit down and talk. We've talked over chat and phone and things like that, but just hanging out. And we were talking about it. He actually like totally nerded out with me on the paint job stuff for the Revel and it's the Revel Rascal, right? So he was like, we took a bunch of rocks from Sedona and they sent them into like a paint matching company. And so they got a bunch of proofs on like different color schemes and tried to really match the Sedona color to call that Sedona color Sedona. And when you ride out there, it's pretty obvious. Like it matches that area really well. That orange is so good. I would say it's an orange, right? I would put it on every one of their bikes if it was me. Like that's so good. It just really pops, man. I dig that more than anything. And they make a rail, but the rail comes in like a red and something else. And it doesn't like, if they made the orange and the rail too, choice. So I was telling him, I was like, hey, put that orange on everything. I don't know. Nobody's going to listen to me, but that's, you know, that's what it is. Unpro Kyle says, my agent contacted me and told me to fulfill my contractual obligations to watch your streams. That's right, Kyle. 100%. That's right. He's probably got a baby in his hands right now, sleeping. So if I talk too loud, I'm just going to wake the baby up. Sorry if I do that, Kyle. The baby's already crying because he has to put up with this crap. Okay, so when you sub, it'll give you an option to get notifications. Very interesting. Notified while I was texting. Okay, cool. I like that. All right, well, then it just tells me that if I was to pop in and do a random live stream, it would be advantageous. You might get a notification. You might jump in. Now, like a lot of times I try to promote it ahead of time, but even then, you don't even see a lot of cross-promotional stuff. Like if I promote it on Instagram, you know, we'll get a decent following in here as well. So at least gives people a heads up. But man, you never know how people find things. So it does. It fascinates me. Justin Drake says, you'll sell at least one to me. Yes. Yes. We need to organize a mustache ride. Wait, that came out wrong. Yeah, Pyro, that could be. Yeah. So we tried to organize a group ride. Trail Monos was stoked to have me out there at Sedona. And so we tried to organize a group ride out there. But of course, with the snow, the trails were just shut down on Saturday. So we ended up just hanging out with a couple people and just talking in front of the tent and doing some giveaways around. And it was rad. It was still a great experience. A little bummed I didn't get to do the group ride, but I mean, who knows? Yeah, well, maybe next year. Maybe I'd love to do one local. I just got to announce it ahead of time. But again, even if I announce it on IG and if you don't see it, then somebody's going to complain to me like, oh man, like, how come you never do group rides? I'm like, I did, but nobody came. So I just got to give enough notification. How much notification do you guys need if I was going to organize an actual group ride? Would it be like a week, or do I need to give like 2 weeks notice? Like how long do you guys need to know? You let me know. I mean, one of these days I'm going to do it, especially with the weather getting nice. I do want to go out and do a group ride. That'd be fun. That would be fun. How many subs do you need to be monetized on YouTube? I think it was 1,000 at one point. 1,000. You got to have like 4,000 watch hours or something. It's been a while since I've had to deal with that. But then they also have one for shorts creators. I think you have to have like 10 million views on shorts to be monetized that way as well. If you want to make an extra 10 cents on the dollar, making shorts. Yeah, I know. It's crazy. John says, I saw some cool Revel bikes today at the Hurricane MTB Fest. Sick. Yeah, Revel's good, man. They're a rad company, and they're doing some cool stuff in the background. One of the things they announced recently was a downhill bike that was 3D printed, like a 3D printed carbon bike, one of the first to market. They're not actually going to sell it. The technology's there, but it's not perfected. But it's just proof of concept. And so they're pretty stoked on that. One of the things they talked about is the idea that in the future, maybe you could go online when you order your bike and change your specs, like head tube angles, things like that. And like, the funny part about that is what's going to happen is all those people that are on the internet on Pink Bike telling everybody else how the bikes industry is screwing up the angles, and they go make their own and it sucks. Like, then they're really going to be in for it. Like there are no returns. But we'll see. So the future is here. There could be some really interesting stuff. If you guys didn't see that, go on to Revel's page. They announced the Revel Rodeo, and it's not for sale. They said it's astronomically expensive. But it's a cool concept. And it, like, one of the things that Adam, the CEO, was talking about, it's funny because he's just really excited. Just the way that I'm excited about content creation, YouTube, all this stuff. He's like that with bikes. He's just, oh, check this out, like showing me. I was like, dude, tell me more. I was like, tell me about the offices in Taiwan. Like, I like learning behind the scenes stuff, which actually gave me an idea, by the way. And since you guys are in here, I'm kind of curious about this. Like, if I was to do a video series on YouTube and start, like, because it wouldn't be necessarily comedy based, it would still be funny and interesting. But like the idea of like learning things in the bike industry, like talking to people like, hey, how does the manufacturing process work? How does like this work? What made like not interviews, like almost like a travel show, but where you just go and talk to people and like go see the facilities and see the process and like what was the inspiration and kind of like that, where you just walk around and like have cool shots of things. And I think that'd be a fun series, like Colorado Kid Learns, sort of thing where you go around and you just talk to people in the industry and like get a little bit more in depth with like, how does this work? I think one of the reasons I thought about that is Adam, the CEO of Revel, did an interview with Worldwide Cyclery when he was at Sedona when they unveiled the rodeo. And he was talking about some of the stuff behind the scenes that I wasn't quite aware of during COVID. And I was really excited about his transparency on the whole thing. And one of the things he talked about was the shipping costs. And so like during the course of COVID, obviously everything went up. And he was like, one of the reasons why that happened is because a shipping container used to be, I don't know. I'm just kind of summarizing here. But he said like a shipping container used to be like $3,000 to $4,000. And during the course of COVID, it went up to like 20 something grand. So you could see that cost being pushed down to the people that are dealing with that. And like one of the reasons why bike costs went up is things like that. And like, I didn't know that. Like that was really interesting to me. And then he was like, as a small company, he felt like the right thing to do was to just kind of keep, like, because people had already ordered bikes and they were just delayed because of all the shipping and everything. Like, he was like, I felt like the right thing to do as a small company was to just honor the price that people ordered it at. So they took a hit on a bunch of the stuff that they were doing. So, like, those things are interesting because some of the other companies just said, hey, this is the new price and stuff like that. So I like that behind the scenes, almost like real understanding of what's really going on. I think that would be fun to just sit around. And of course I would put a Colorado spin on it, right? Where it's just like me still having a blast. And it goes along the lines of me hosting something kind of on my own. So I don't know. Like the problem is it wouldn't tie into the comedy stuff as much, like the skit stuff versus that on the YouTube. It could be like the audience would cross over. So I'm not sure how that would be received. but it's something I was thinking about today. That's just, I haven't planned anything. It's just me thinking about it. All right. What are your thoughts? Just what are your thoughts? Tony, the outsider, jumped in. Tony, I'm here to tell you right now, and you guys, you know how this is, Tony. This is a complete last-minute live stream because I wanted to do a tech test. I bought a MacBook Pro, and I wanted to make sure that everything worked, that the audio was good, the video was good. And what's happened now is just, it's been 40 minutes already. So what meant to be like me jumping in for a second has just turned into something vastly different. And we're hanging out. So I'm stoked that people jumped in here with no prior notification. Who would have thought? This is a good little experiment. But there you go. There you go. Do a community post. Yeah, I don't know how many people see the community posts either. Like, I'll do something and I'll get like 30 likes on it. I got 80,000. Wait, how many subscribers do I have? It's like almost 80,000. So like, I don't know. Like, it's just, I'm always curious how people find things and how it works out. Like, I don't know, man. It's always one big experiment. I'd love to like have just something post in and just like the response be overwhelming, but it's so hard to predict anything here. Group ride is advance notice necessary. I do a 1 month or a week's notice. Okay, so good idea, Tony. Definitely, because not like me going like, hey, I'm going to go ride Granite Bay today. You guys want to go? And then nobody goes. So maybe that's why. Maybe that's exactly why. Yeah, that could be it. What's the best bike brand? Everything's good now. It's just per preference. I'm really liking the Rebel Rascal right now, but I'm sure everybody in chat will tell you that something different too. Every company seems to be making good bikes now. There's not really anybody I could talk crap about, unfortunately. I'd love to sit here and make fun of somebody. Well, you know what we can do? Since we're here, we're all here. You know what we can do is we can make fun of SRAM, can't we? Yeah, that's exactly what we're going to do. I got to get this off my chest, all right? I really got to get it off my chest, all right? How much money do you think SRAM, I want to say SRAM, but it's SRAM, and this is going to just ruin any sponsorship opportunity I have in the future with them. But how much money do you think they spent marketing their new gear set that's wildly expensive? How much do you think? Because here's what happened. I know for a fact that they shipped out those giant wooden boxes. Okay, first of all, how much do you think each one of those boxes cost to manufacture? I know you guys in chat know what I'm talking about. You had to have seen it because they sent it to every bike shop that stocked their gear, and they sent this big wooden box full of a mystery product. And what they did is they made each shop make a video about this box. And they were like, here's a box from SRAM. Guess what? It's a box. This is their brilliant marketing strategy, is just to send out a box to every shop everywhere and force them to shoot a video on the box and like not even unveil it, not open it, just show the box. Okay, now let's build some anticipation. And then what they did is they unveiled their newest wireless shifting technology, which, to be fair, there's a lot of cool stuff in there that actually intrigues me quite a bit. It seems like it solves a lot of the problems that wireless shifting had. But now what they've done here is they've just this brilliant, this gigantic marketing barrage for this product that is like almost $3,000, isn't it? It's like over $2,000 in a marketplace, in a mountain biking marketplace, where bikes are being discounted 20% because everything's so overstocked. So and where the used bike market is in the dumps, like all this stuff. And what they've done here is they've unveiled a premium product. I don't know that the timing is quite right, but it just cracks me up. I love the behind this. I love to get the story on this and then just how much money they spent, not only like just building the product and the R&D, but also like how much it cost them to market the hell out of it. And like, it fascinates me wildly. It's a story I'm sure I'll never get, but oh boy, I saw it, man. When you see everybody posting the videos of their box, like all these bike shops that don't even know how to shoot like Instagram reels and stuff, they're like, oh, well, we got to shoot a video on a box. Like, I know people that had to help shops shoot this thing. Just, it cracks me up. I would love to do a lot more spoof stuff on that and just rip into it. But, you know, at the end of the day, I'm sure it works, right? Like, God, I don't know. What are your guys' thoughts on this process? It fascinated me to no end. I thought it was funny as hell. I'm from the background. I'm just like, man, they're really going all out here, aren't they? But they gotta impress. All right. They've got to just take the marketplace by storm. And what they've done here is they've just taken over every single channel and just dominated the market news for about a day or two, didn't they? They just completely took over the mountain bike news space. So maybe there's something to it. But boy, oh boy, was it in everyone's face, wasn't it? Just right in your face. Right in your goddamn face, SRAM. They just shoved it at us. I do kind of want to try it, though, don't you? Do you want to try it? I'm a little bit more upset that they didn't send me one, but it's probably a good call because I'd probably be like, it feels like my shifter that works right now, kind of. All right, sorry. All right, I got distracted. What were we talking about? Okay, let me answer. Let me answer some questions. Is CDN Freighter broke? Are you asking me? He says, is creating content full time for you? No, not yet. I just got a lot more brand deals down to like make that financially make sense. There's just too much going on. I'd love to. I think it'd be a blast. But it's a hard work. It's a lot of legwork because like you don't make much money on the short stuff and all that stuff. So it's really tying in with brands and things like that. It's up to me. I need to reach out to more brands and dial it in. And then I got to shove more ads down your guys' throats, which who knows? People are going to then call me a sellout and nobody's going to like me anymore. It's going to be this weird cycle. So don't worry. One day I'll figure it out. I'm not the smartest guy, but I can think of funny ideas for videos. So there's something to that, and I'll take it to my grave. Unpro Kyle says, when's the next Joey MTV podcast? Nobody in mountain bike wants podcasts, I've discovered. Like even successful mountain bike YouTubers and everything else start podcasts and nobody listens. It's just like, I don't know. Maybe I'm not seeing the actual numbers behind things. There's so many talented people doing it. As a side note, speaking of podcasts, all right, here, look what we've done. This is supposed to be a tech test. You guys are just holding me over the coals. We're going to be here all night long now. This is what's happening. Here's great news. Okay, great news. You guys know IFHT, all right? Mahalo, my dude. Those guys, Jason, Matt, all the crew. Okay, what happened is there was a story that happened in Sedona that is now public that I thought was pretty funny at the time. And it was they told it very well. I wish I could bring up the clip, but I don't have anything set up here for sharing screens or anything. This is all tech test, all right? This is great. So they did an official after party for Sedona, okay? And at this official after party, they had a dance floor. And so I immediately, since we didn't ride all day, I was like, let's just go to the dance floor and tear up the dance floor for a little bit, all right? This is the first thing I did. So grabbed a drink or two, went over to the dance floor, and we're just destroying the dance floor for a little while, okay? Anyways, an hour or something goes by. It's hot as hell in there. Now at this point, you're sweaty. And so people are opening up the doors because it's snowy outside, but inside it's just hot, dude. There's so many people. It was a really great idea to organize an after party. It was great. They'd never done it before, like an official after party. The place was packed. Brett Tippy was there. A bunch of people, just everybody was there. Anyways, so we're tearing up the dance floor. I'm like, dude, I'm sweating hardcore. So there are videos of this somewhere. I don't know. I didn't share anything to my story, but people definitely tagged me in some videos. All right. So I go outside. All right. And I'm just cooling down. Okay. Because I'm sweating. All right. I'm sitting outside on top of this thing. And Jordan Boostmaster comes out. We had hung out. We rode Haas together. And then we ended up riding Highline together the following day. So Boostmaster was out there. We were chatting it up. All of a sudden, Jason and Matt come out from Mahalo, my dude. You know, IFHT. Is that right? IFHT? You guys know what I'm talking about. Big players in the industry, right? Brilliant guys. The videos they make are incredible. Anyways, they come out. You know, the old me might have been a little intimidated, but I was just like stoked to talk to them. I was like, man, so cool. I didn't know they were there. So they come out and I'm like, hey guys, what's happening? Like, how's it going, dude? Like, oh, sick. Like, whatever. Anyways, so I'm chatting it up. I've already been at it for 10 hours straight, guys. Like, I got to the festival early. I got stopped every 3 feet when I was there, like just talking to people that recognized me, wanted to take pictures, wanted to hang out, and I was happy to do it. It was so cool. Anyways, it blew my mind how many people recognized me. It was unbelievable. Anyways, so we're sitting there talking. I was like, oh, but by the way, like your how to be a mountain biker or whatever, like that video was like blew my mind. And like, I was like, I watched it so many times. They're like, oh, okay. And I was like, dude, and then like the other thing that you did, whatever, like that was rad too. I was stoked on that. Like nice execution, man. They're like, yeah. I was like, okay. I was like, you guys are pretty quiet. You know, you're pretty soft spoken. And they're like, yeah, we've just been busy. I'm like, look, guys, I've been talking for 10 hours straight and I'm still at it. All right. Like, I think we could work something out here. And they're like, yeah, okay. And it was like, okay, well, I was like, I'm going to go tear up. I think I might've said like, I'm just going to go dominate the dance floor real quick. I'll see you guys in a little bit. And so like, basically I get down from my ledge. I walk back inside. I didn't know that they still saw what happened next, but what happened next was there was a circle that had formed like in the dance area. Right. And so you normally, if you've ever been on a dance floor, the dance floor opens up and then people go into the center and you just do your thing. And then you get out and the next person comes in. Well, what happened was there was already a circle formed. So after I said that, I was like, I'm going to go just dominate the dance floor. I walk out, walk back inside. I just open up the circle, walk into the middle of it. And I'm like, stop. Okay. I'm here. And then I just start tearing it up. So what I didn't realize is they had saw that. And so they told this great story on their podcast, the feeding, God, Now I don't even remember the name of their podcast. What is it called? Feeding, whatever it is. The worst. I'm going to look it up right now because feeding off each other. Sorry, feeding off each other. I'm not good with names, okay? So they have a great story of me in their feeding off each other podcast. They spent a little time talking about that experience. And like when they told the story, I was like, holy crap, that's exactly what happened. I forgot. So it's pretty good. So there's a good mention for me in about 12 minutes into the latest feeding off each other podcast. They talk about me. It was funny as hell. So if you want to hear that story, go listen to their podcast, Speaking of Podcasts. And thanks. Whoever mentioned podcasts, that was Kyle. Yeah, look at what just happened. Another 20-minute detour in this live stream game. It's funny as hell, guys. You got to go listen to their story and how they tell it. It was great. It was great. Okay, I'm catching up. I'm so behind on chat, aren't I? Yeah, I know. I'm so behind. It's fine. SRAM is like a baby. It's super expensive. You do one thing wrong. Yeah, but like, here's the thing about SRAM. Like, why don't they spend some time making their brakes better? Their brakes are like the butt of everyone's joke in the mountain biking world. Everybody's just like, SRAM brakes suck. Everybody that I know says that. I don't know, like, am I wrong? Like, I think they're fine enough, but then you go try like Shimano or like Hayes or TRP or Magura. There's a bunch of other brands. God, I'm just really digging a hole deep, aren't I? Don't tell them I said this, okay? I might ask for a lot of money from them for sponsorship someday. And this is going to come up and they're just going to be like, no. I was like, okay, God damn it. That's okay. I'm fine with it. What are you going to do? I won't quit my day job. How about that? I'll just keep that. There you go. Hey, you going to Updog this year? What's Updog? I don't know what that is, unless that's a joke that you're playing on me. Okay, I'm catching up. Do a Whistler vid. I shot a bunch of video in Whistler, Oscar. Believe it or not, I didn't do anything with it. I got tons of GoPro footage from Whistler. It's just sitting there doing nothing. I'll probably never do anything with it. It's just, I shot a ton of stuff out there. I don't know what I'm supposed to do with it. Just have some riding footage? I don't know. Everybody's one of these days. One of these days I'll buckle down with it. But yeah, I've got a ton of footage that I haven't done anything with. It's impossible to avoid. Yeah, I know. Yeah, so if you guys go watch the Feeding Off Each Other podcast, right around 12 minutes or so in, they spent a couple minutes telling the story of the Colorado kid. So it was like, it's great because like a bunch of people sent it to me. And I was like, whoa, I didn't even know they were going to do that. So anyways, that was a good shout out. I did end up talking with Jason afterwards. And I was like, hey, like, great to meet you guys. Really awesome. Anyways, so he's like, yeah, if you're ever up here, just let me know. I'll show you around. I would love to get on that podcast. Those guys are just creative as hell. I'd love to pick their brain as well. So again, it was an awesome experience. Totally random event. But yeah, the story is legend now. There's a lot of legendary stories about me from Sedona, and like you wouldn't know them unless you were there. So it's worth going to festivals because it gets a little out of hand. And I'm a bit of a showman anyways. So like you put me in front of a crowd and we're off to the races. So it was a blast. We had a really fun time. And despite the trails being closed down, despite the festival being closed on Friday and then the trails being closed on Saturday, we had an awesome time. And Rich Semi-Sendy was out there. We closed down the club. We didn't leave there until 1:30 at least, I think. It was at least 1:30 when we left. And then I got back and got a few hours sleep. I don't think I slept barely at all, honestly. I slept like crap. And then we had another like day of riding and festival and all that stuff. It was just, I came home just a mess. I was just so tired. I was getting sick from talking so much. It was just, I came home and like, just went into bed rest for a day. Like people ask me that, they're like, what happens when you go like to a festival like that? And I'm like, I'm on my game the whole time. So like, I almost like my body shuts down and I need to like, just have a day of rest. So that's exactly what happened after the Sedona Mountain Bike Festival. Matty Active from Denver put out a video today where I make a cameo for his Sedona Mountain Bike Fest. So if you haven't watched or followed Matty Active, he's another awesome YouTuber. He put out a video today on Sedona where he kind of like hung out with a bunch of us YouTubers, and he's a YouTuber too. So this is what we do out there. And so I make a pretty good speech on his video. So that was good too. And a couple Colorado cameos that are in the works. And like I said, I should make a cameo appearance in the newest MTB news from Bobo. I just finished shooting that in the green screen in the garage tonight. I posted a video on Instagram, like what content creators do on a Saturday night versus what normal people do on a Saturday night. And this is exactly right. I was out here, I was shooting stuff in the garage. And now I jumped on a random live stream that we're almost an hour into that I meant to be for like 2 minutes. So we're just, the track record is not great. What I want to do is I want to go back to my computer and play some video games tonight, but I don't know if that's going to work out. What time is it now? Jesus, it's almost 10 o'clock already. So look what we've done to ourselves. If you guys have any questions, ask them now. I don't want to hang out much longer. It's already like gone way further than I wanted to. I needed to make sure this stuff worked. Now, I've done a new outro screensaver. Okay. What originally happened is when I made the screensaver, that is my new favorite thing in the world, the file got corrupted on Premiere. I was able to go back a ways in the files and find the right save file and re-bring it in. So I did what I wanted to do and kind of made some adjustments for the outro. What's going to happen when I play the outro is the audio is not going to be there at first. I know how to fix it, but the only way to fix it is to do it live now at this point. So this is one of the reasons why I'm doing the tech test, to figure out, what's going wrong and how I can fix it ahead of time. So this is like an unofficial live stream, but it turned out great. I got to tell some stories and hang out with you guys. So I'm stoked on that. You're building a great channel. Keep up the momentum. Thank you so much. It's been tricky, but it's also super fun, and I'm stoked on it. So the short form stuff has been wildly successful. I think I've got a taste for it. I do really want to get back into long form stuff. I really do. I've been itching to shoot widescreen again, and I'm just not sure how to pull it off because the timing is sometimes hard. It takes me so long to shoot a video and edit it versus like a couple shorts that I could knock out and get a lot of reach. So I'm trying to figure out how I can work that equilibrium out. I really want to. I just don't want to film in my house all the time. So I need to be able to get out on the trail, and sometimes time's limited. So I do, man. I'm really itching to shoot YouTube videos right now, and I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it in my loins. So I'm hoping really soon to start getting that. I know I promised you guys, but as long as the videos are there, I'm sure you guys are stoked on it. It's almost 1 a.m. Where are you, psycho? Crazy. Seth was here, says, which video games? Right now, I am playing Elden Ring, and I've got the new PC with a 4090 graphics card in it, so it's just awesome. I can't point. Wait, it's all backwards. Wait, no, this. Okay, that's pointless. Elden Ring has consumed me. There's probably plenty of nights where I'm not editing because I'm playing Elden Ring. It's insanely good. It's one of the best games I've played in a long time. Okay, hold on. I'm catching up. Yeah. How do I grow my channel bigger? I'm trying to get to 200. Frequent flyer, it takes consistency, and it takes a desire to improve. Like, you have to constantly be pushing yourself to creatively come up with new techniques. If you've never done a voiceover, do a voiceover over something. If you've never, shot third-person footage for your writing, shoot some slowly evolve your content, start to find your voice, and then find out, learn how to make thumbnails and titles. That's incredibly important when it comes to YouTube. If you can't make a thumbnail and title, as we all know, your video is going to fall into the ether. Nobody's ever going to see it. It's the book. It's the cover to your book. And so it has to be good. So if you ever need tips on that, I'd love to do like a breakdown. I'm not the smartest guy in the world, but I know how to make a good thumbnail, or at least I know the concepts behind making a good thumbnail, but that doesn't mean I can make a good thumbnail. So anyways, I don't know how helpful I can be. Vince is in here. Good to see you, buddy. I almost considered riding Rockville tomorrow, Vince, but I don't know that I'm going to end up doing it. But I almost was going to hit you up. I know Brian's sick, so we'll see. I got some commitments with the family tomorrow, so I don't know if it's going to work out. I did a good ride today. Feeling good. I've been working out a lot more. We started doing the Beachbody stuff. According to Bobo, he said it was really working out for him. So we've been doing that for the last 2 weeks, just beating my body up one piece at a time. So it's been going good, man. I'm trying to get real fit for big rides this summer, so we'll see how it works out. I'd be pretty stoked on it. Beat Elden Ring 4 times. Jesus Christ, that guy's got a lot of spare time on his hands. Tell him to get a job. I'm like 60, 70 hours into that thing, and I've still not finished it. All right, look, we're getting distracted. You're going, Vince, tell me what time. Just message me. I may consider it. Look, this is it. I think we're going to call it. This is a great tech test. What happened is I made this outro, and I know that there's not going to be any audio on it when we jump in at first, but in the background, I'm going to fix it. So don't eat me up too much for not having audio on this outro, but it'll take me a second. I just gotta get the audio source and do the thing. So, oh, he's 15. Of course he did. I remember when I was a kid, when Halo 2 came out, I didn't leave the house. Like, I would just play Halo 2 all day long, 8 hours, 10 hours straight. I miss those days to a certain degree. But then I also think, like, if I had started this when I was 15, like, geez, I'd have an empire by now, right? Why did I wait so long? So, like, maybe start streaming. Tell them to, like, start creating content around it. Like, maybe start, I don't know. Like, I shouldn't say that stuff because it's, like, no point in pushing you. Sometimes you want to sit back and relax. But I was like, man, if I would have, like, made Halo videos when that was, like, I'd probably be a legend by now. But yeah, anyways, that's how we go. Random trail closers in Rockville, huh? Wow. Road riding to build solid. I don't like road riding at all, CDN. Like, it just bores the hell out of me. I just don't like riding on roads. It just is so uninteresting. I just zoom out. I guess if I was playing music or a podcast, like, but for pure exercise sake, like, oh man, I just get bored with it really fast. And I don't want to inconvenience people that are driving more important than anything. Just like I hate road bikers that are in a narrow road right in the middle of the road. Just like, dude, now I got to go around you and try not to die in a corner. Anyways, I don't hate road bikers. All right, let's clear the air right there, but I don't enjoy it that much. And I also don't want to wear spandex. So that's it's all on the board. There it is. All right. Vroom Vroom just jumped in last minute. Said, what would you say is the best full face to buy and not super expensive? Man, I don't know. There's so many expensive full faces these days. I would say find the one that you dig, but also don't try to be stingy with money on a full face, because like they cost a lot for a reason. One, the company's making a ton of money off you, but more importantly, like, it's protecting your head. Like, be willing to spend a little bit. Don't go to Amazon and buy a full face. That's one thing I would recommend. Find a good brand like POC or Giro or whatever else. I've got a Giro one that's really good, pretty robust, but they make really lightweight ones. I've got a Bell Super Downhill back here. I don't know if you can, you can't even see with the lighting, but that one worked out well. Find a lightweight, good one, but no matter what, full faces are pretty pricey these days. So don't skimp on protecting your head, especially if you're riding gnarly stuff. Okay, that's all I would say. Want to make a channel on his Oculus. There you go. It could work. Smith has good deals on helmets too. Yeah. Lil Yoda says, oh, there you go. Okay, perfect. Tim Miller says, Vroom, Amazon is an expensive full. Oh, just said don't buy it on Amazon. What are you going to do? All right. Look, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for jumping in. I know this is a very, very, very last minute live stream, but more important than anything, it was a tech test. I wanted to make sure that streaming from this MacBook Pro would in fact work. I meant to be in here for like 2 minutes, and here we are an hour later. So stoked you guys jumped in. Really, seriously, stoked that you guys jumped in here. You didn't have to do that. I'm stoked that you come in, hang out with me for a little bit. I'm going to go play some video games. I've done enough editing. I've done enough shooting. I've done enough riding today. It's all mountain biking all day long today. So I'm going to go relax for a little bit. And hopefully you guys have a good Sunday. And I will see you on the next one. I will make an official announcement. I do want to do another live stream soon. We got plenty of stories to tell. But if in the meantime, go check out the Feeding Off Each Other podcast where they mention me. It's pretty funny. And other than that, we'll see you guys on. Oh, yeah. Callie makes good stuff too for helmets. 100%. All right. You're going to have a little audio glitch here, right? It's not going to work at first. I know this now, but I'm going to fix it real fast. So don't worry and stay tuned for what can only be described as the greatest live stream outro in history. Here we go. And can confirm that screensaver will never hit the corner unless one day I go in and custom tune the file and it does in fact hit the corner. But never will it hit the corner. It spent me hours and hours making that stupid thing. All right, that's it. I'm going to call it one more time with the screensaver, and then we're calling it for sure. Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate you guys. Have a good Saturday. Hopefully you guys have a good Sunday, and we'll see you next week. Okay.